talk about managing.
Yes.
Now, in your book,
This
you
is
say
very
seven ways to manage a crisis.
Yes.
Give me just some.
Pastor Benny, first of all, I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
When I read the Bible, people normally think I'm reading a different Bible. Let me read what was on God's mind when he made you. And I think this will help you going through this economic crisis right now. In the book of Genesis, I'm going to show you a verse you never saw before.
Please. I've read and reread and reread.
Me too, until I found it. It says in Genesis chapter 2, it says, when the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, no shrub of the field had yet appeared on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up. Why? Because the Lord God had not allowed it to rain on the earth. Why? Because there was no man to manage the earth. Now, that's a verse you and I never saw.
Marvelous.
This is powerful to me. First of all, God had a beautiful planet, but he didn't allow anything to grow, nothing to spring forth, nothing to emerge, nothing to prosper, because there was no manager. Okay, a few things I learned from this. Number one, God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability. Secondly, God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them. Notice it says,
He'll withhold things.
Read it. It says he didn't allow it to rain because there was no man to manage the results. So the next verse says, and therefore God formed the man from dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. In other words, God had a beautiful planet. No life was on it. Why? Because he first needed a manager. Normally we ask people, why did God create man? Our answer, to worship God. That's not what he says. He needed a manager.
I have never heard that. I love that.
The number one motivation for God creating man is management. Whatever you mismanage, you will lose.
That is powerful.
That's why management is so important in this process.
Whatever you do not manage, you lose.
In other words, God will never give you what you pray for. He will only give you what you can manage. You pray for a new house, and God's looking at the apartment that's unkept. So he only gives you what you've proven you could manage. Some people get jealous of your ministry, but they don't understand the machinery behind this ministry to manage all that's necessary here. And the day you mismanage this ministry, you will lose it.
Absolutely.
If you mismanage your body, you lose it. If you mismanage your marriage, you lose it. If you mismanage your children, you lose them. If you mismanage your money, it goes away. When you mismanage anything, you lose it. And so in crisis is a result of mismanagement. And the way you correct a crisis is management.